non-profits working on a particular topic, and they can find you, contact you, and collaborate with you. And then it's also about mobilizing, because once there's more transparency as to who's doing what and why, it's possible for us to come together and collaborate, and especially collaborate in ways that allows us to bring in people who are usually left behind. So we want to be inclusive. And in the end, what we want is that all Ghanaians, not just the ones in the room these 3 days, begin to see themselves as drivers of innovation. And so can we take actions that happen at GDIW but have impact outside GDIW that we can track? So those are the 4 things, this plan. These are the 4 objectives of the event and of the plan. Can we go to the next slide? This is a platform for conversations that can lead to collaboration and that can lead to action. And so that's why we're here. Next slide. And we have rapporteurs in all the rooms that are capturing all these commitments, and they'll be summarized because it's hard to track. We'll track all the various individual actions, but we need to summarize so we can understand what's happening in a joint statement that will be shared at the closing session of this event. And there will be events during 2024 to follow up. And during the 2024 GDIW, there will be an opportunity for both reporting back and making new commitments so we can move the ecosystem forward. Next slide. So I've talked about, it's a dynamic document, meaning it lives, it's editable, we keep adding to it, meaning it's light, it's something that we're all putting together, captures our commitments, and it allows us to collaborate and partner. And everybody, once you're in the ecosystem, can contribute to this collaborative plan. Next slide. So we have a structure around this collaborative plan and participating in the event, where the trilateral partners who got this started, you've seen their logos, some of them are in the room, like the Ghana Hub Network, will continue to provide governance. But any other organization that believes in the vision, in the targets, and is willing to make a commitment can be part of the process. And there will be a small team that will follow up on the actions, because we need people to follow up. And then the organizations that host the next GDIW will be sort of collating all those. So next slide. So these are the actions that this GDIW is organized around. Some of you may be thinking, what kind of actions are we talking about? So for example, organizations may launch a new initiative. It's an event, so there's a limit to the things you can do with an event. It's not a non-profit, it's not government, it's an event. So we need to think about actions that can begin at an event or be amplified by an event and by conversations. So make commitments, announce a target you're committed to, take action. For example, you can do a training session to build the capacity of the ecosystem. So the Ghana Hub Network hosted the session just before this one, where they committed to help people who want to launch hubs with information, etc. Your action could be around collaborating with others. So maybe you're already working in a space and you want to collaborate with others to make the impact even bigger. And so you could be enabling networking and connections. You could be taking an aspect that it has been identified as a gap and leading in that, or exploring with others how you can work better together. For those of you who were at the opening, MTN Ghana, for example, talked about opening up its platforms and working with startups. And the Ministry of Communications talked about making it easier for small businesses to supply goods and services to government. So these are all examples already from sessions today where people are driving collaboration with the assets that they have. And all of us come with assets. So the question is, how do we collaborate to increase the impact of these assets? And then finally, celebrate success. I hear there's a party on the last day, so you don't want to miss that. We were celebrating new technologies on stage, so you showcase and you celebrate, and an event is a great platform for celebration. So these are not exhaustive, but these are examples of actions that can be taken through an event, a dialogue-based platform. And if we track these actions over time, we begin to see how this event, plus all the other initiatives being done by all of you, results in transformation in our ecosystem. Next slide. So we'll skip the slide about the theme because you've been looking at it on the screen. We'll skip these slides. Skip. And so currently, we're getting input into the action plan. The joint statement will be done during the event. The full plan will be up on the website in the subsequent weeks and will be followed up after that. And this is what it will look like. A vision of what the ecosystem could look like in a perfect world. And for those of you who are at the opening, there were conversations around that sort of visioning. And in some of the different sessions, there have been those conversations about that perfect world and that we will capture. Then opportunities, gaps, and challenges on a high level. Like what are the broad opportunities, gaps, and challenges? Solutions, again, on a high level. What are the solutions that we want to drive for this ecosystem that could move it forward to the next level? But the beauty of the collaborative plan is commitments, which is the individual actions that you and I who are here at GDIW are going to make. Ideas for collaboration that came out of sessions, or maybe it's something you've been working on for a while and you're just launching or announcing it or reiterating it in a special way. And there will be a monitoring and evaluation framework. So the commitments is the bulk of the plan. The 1 to 3 is sort of background, and the commitments is the bulk of the plan. So what we want to do with the rest of this session, and Gordon will help when he comes in, is to begin to harvest from this room, from where you sit in the ecosystem, and everyone sits in a unique place, whether you're a researcher, you're a startup, you're seeing something that no one else can see. And it's important that you bring that into the plan so that it can be a full picture of where the ecosystem is at and where it could go, so that we have a plan that, if executed, can actually bring transformation. Next slide. So what you see on your screen is a draft vision that the drafting team has been working on. It's going to transform significantly based on all the input at GDIW. But because we have a draft, we thought we will share it and get initial thoughts, reflections from the room. So this is where my presentation ends, and we begin to pass the mic around to hear from everyone in the room. So look at that vision and think about it, and the question is, what is missing? Is this the perfect world we're all wanting to see, or is there something missing? Or is there something that just doesn't sit right that should be taken out? Or is there an alternative that you have in mind? It's a brainstorm, so you can build on someone else's idea, but all ideas are welcome. And so I'll just read the vision, and then we'll pass the mic around for any reflections that anybody has in the room. So it says, an integrated, inclusive, and innovative society and digital economy in Ghana that improves the quality of life of Ghana's citizens, strengthens the existing economic sector, and enables its diversification and development. So if you raise your hand, somebody will bring you a mic. So if you'd like to speak after Yao, you can raise your hand.
Right. Thank you very much, Amma. My name is Yao Edujemfi from the Ghana Hubs Network. I think it's a very good draft of a vision. What I would suggest that we tweak is in the area where the emphasis is on the economic sector. Because when you over-focus on the economic sector, you leave out a lot of the other sectors. So instead of just saying the economic sector, we could add the socio-economic sector. In this way, we are able to capture sectors outside of the economy. Amma, I hope there's an attention here. We are able to focus on sectors outside of the economy.
The economic sector.
So it should be socio-economic sector. We are talking about inclusiveness here. So it becomes more inclusive, and then the vision can even contribute to sustainability issues. Sustainable Development Goals in 2030, and also the Agenda 2063 by the AU. Thank you.
Thank you for that submission. Anybody wants to add to that? Want to add to that? No. You've spoken your point. Let's do something called a finger shoot. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you think this vision captures what the perfect world could look like? Maybe if we add socioeconomic. So if it's 1, you think, I'm not sure, it's far away. If it's 5, then you think it's close to perfect. And to make sure we are all not looking at other people's votes, we'll close our eyes. I will say 1, 2, 3, and then you put up your hand. You can put up 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and everybody has to vote. You can't not have an opinion. So look at the vision one more time. Give it some thought. Pick a number in your head. Have you picked your number? Okay, now close your eyes, and then I'll say 1, 2, 3, and on the count of 3, you put up your hand, and then you open your eyes. So eyes closed. Okay, you're all such good. Everybody's eyes are closed. Almost. Okay, let's do this. Hey, I see one eye open. 1, 2, 3. Oh, some people have forgotten to raise their hands. Raise your hand and pick a number. Don't fall asleep. Sorry, raise your hand and pick a number. He's visioning. You're in the spirit. Okay. So let's keep the numbers up. I see some 4s. You can open your eyes now and look around. I see some 4s. I see a 1. I see some undecided people who have moved from 3 to 4. 4, 4, 4. I see some 1s. I see a 5, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. Okay, lots of 4s. Great. So we have lots of 4s, a few 5s, 1, 1, and 1, 2. Mr. 1 and Mr. 2, would you like to tell us what's going on in your mind as you think of the vision and why you picked the number you picked?
Well, when the vision was being drafted, I was reflecting on it, and I was thinking about what informed the decision for this vision, because I, for instance, I just graduated from a university, and we have University Graduate Unemployment Association, and I'm just wondering whether yes, we want to see job creation, and the one other thing that I also want to see is, you know, when it comes to development, we are the future leaders, and the youth are the future leaders, and we need to be taken into consideration when such a vision is being drafted. So there's some like if youth is being stated in it.
So we need something about jobs, because that's the biggest need of the bulk of our population, and we need to be thinking about replacing me with you. So how do we make that transition to bring along young people in an intentional way? I see some hands up. Mr. 2, would you like to go, or should we? Who had it?
After Mr. 2, I can talk a bit
about him. Okay. So we'll have Mr. 2, and then Yao, and then there was one hand up here. Yeah. You had 2. Somebody had 2 fingers up. Are you willing to share? Oh, I didn't see properly. Okay, then let's go to Yao.
So jobs. Very important. I didn't know that association still existed.
Does it exist?
But if it does, it just shows the importance of jobs. And I think in this vision, if we have an inclusive and innovative society, that is loaded, and innovative society, that means that whilst you're at school, we need to be building capacity on innovation, entrepreneurship, digital skills, whilst you are in school. So that you create ventures whilst you are in school, just like what others have done. Sometimes as students, we are overfixated with passing exams and making sure that we get our certificates. So if they are certain capacity building and capacity strengthening programs, we don't avail ourselves. But fortunately, which school were you, please? KNUST. There are about 2 or 3 hubs on campus. Recently, there are development partners that are helping to set up one, and they are all joining the Ghana Hubs network. If you are also a product of KNUST, Gamali, you are not, but I'm sure you are Legon. But you see, the point is that building that inclusive and innovative society includes building the skill sets that would help in developing initiatives. Beyond that, it also includes the digital economy. Also includes, for me, that's why I see our hubs. Our hubs coming in, providing the necessary anchor in soft infrastructure, working with government, working with the academic institutions, and also working with private sector to build the necessary anchor that will support you. So that immediately you come out to school, then you have hubs that are spread across you that will be able to help build, because you have ideas. And that's where the hubs comes in. You enter a hub, your ideas, we work with you on your ideas, and you turn your ideas into profitable making ventures. And that's the perfect world that Amma talked about. Yeah.
Sounds great. So perfect world has jobs, and we're transferring skills. We're building those skills while still in school, and we're creating a support infrastructure. There was a hand here, so... And then let's take this first.
Okay, I'm Idonia Nalibe from Zella Charging Station. I think with a vision, improving the quality of life of Ghanaians encompasses job, because at the end of the day, I don't really know the point of every job, but it's just to improve the quality of life. So I don't think the vision necessarily have to state everything that Ghana needs in it, but once it is aimed or geared at improving the lives of humanity, then I think it's fine. So I personally give it a 5.
Thank you for sharing that. It's a brainstorm, so all thoughts are welcome, and we'll be synthesizing, so keep them coming. Yes, Mr. Jacket, Julius.
Thank you very much, Amma. So the point that you raised was very critical, and I think Gamili also highlighted it. So in trying to make it almost perfect, the only place where we could have sustainable jobs, or the sector that create jobs in the economic sector. So the input is that where we have the strengthens the existing economic sector to deliver sustainable jobs, and then we are done.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's a great wordsmith there. Strengthening it to provide sustainable job. I see a hand at the back. Are there any other hands? Okay, we have 3 more hands. So we'll take the, there's a lot of light. I think it's a lady at the back. No, let's take the lady at the back first. So we don't, back seats tend to get, and then we'll work our way forward.
Thank you very much. Yes, back seat, we tend to get forgotten. So. Once again, my name is Joanna, and I voted for 4 with the understanding that there isn't really a perfect world. So there would always be something that would never match up, but at least there's room for improvement. But then to touch up on the question about the jobs, I think that's one thing that the economic sector stated in the vision already captures, because what jobs actually do is really at the bedrock of the economic sector. So I believe jobs are already captured in there. I do like the fact that it improves the quality of life, because I think fundamentally everybody works. I mean, we live, we exist, we hustle just so that we can improve our lives. So for me, I think for this vision, it really is the key thing, even in the entire sentence for me, that the quality of lives of Ghanaians are being improved. But I do agree with Yao about making it the socio-economic sector, because when we are talking about the inclusivity and also capturing people who are not necessarily employed or running their own businesses, there's also elements of like recreation, rehabilitation that usually falls to some extent still within the economic sector, but then more of the benefits within the social benefits. So those are my reflections. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing those great reflections. We'll be coming forward. So the gentleman in gray with the glasses, who is now ready to share. We're excited to hear what you have.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Kwatin. I get a feeling that, though great, it's a bit lengthy. Is it a
You're
way
not the only one who said
to make it a bit concise? Maybe taking out some of the words and making it a bit simpler.
Do you have any suggestions?
No
suggestions, but,
yeah, but
the English words are too many.
I think so. Integrated, inclusive, innovative, digital economy.
Okay, there was some hands. Thanks for sharing that. As we come forward, I don't think there were any hands here, but there were hands at the front. You had your hand up, and then you want to share, so we'll have the two of you.
Thank you. I'm Al Hassan from Recycle Up Ghana. Yeah, so I also shared the same point that it's too long. Yeah, Brafuno Dawson. Yeah, you can't even say it offhand. Yeah. And I think one of my points also have been highlighted to see the sustainability components. So either we find a way to bring in the SDGs, because in the end, it's not only about economy, it's about society, but also planet as well. So we have to find a way to integrate that. On the issue of trying to trim it down, I think, for example, here, we've already mentioned Ghana. It says digital economy in Ghana. And then we again repeat ourselves talking about the quality of life of Ghana's citizens. So there we could just replace it with the quality of life of people, because in the end, it's not only Ghanaian citizens. If you live in Ghana, there are foreigners that also live in Ghana as well. So basically, it's anybody in the country. So that part also could just be about people, so that it kind of like, it's more inclusive, that it's not only towards Ghanaian citizens as well. Yeah, I think I'll keep it short, and then Rahim can add to it.
Yeah, so my name is Rahim, also with Alasan at Recycle Up Ghana. I just wanted to just give a suggestion based on what I think someone talked about in terms of it being long as well. I think if it gets to improving the quality of life of citizens and it stops there, I think it makes sense, because improving the lives of citizens includes, improving the economic sector, providing a lot of other things, right? So you get into the point where you improve the life or the quality of life of citizens, encompasses all the other things in terms of the economic sector and other things that you want to do as well. Yeah, thank you.
Great comments. So we have a lot of votes for social. We are talking about ensuring that the digital sector is improving the rest. We're talking about simplifying, all great comments that have been captured for the wordsmiths to work on. Is that a hand I see at the back? Okay, we'll take the last, and then so we need to move on to the next section so that we can finish on the hour.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to find out whether this vision must align with the vision of any of the government departments?
Not particularly. This is not a government policy. It's a vision by the ecosystem for the ecosystem. So government is just one part. So it doesn't need to align per se. We have a digital economy policy, but it's still under development.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to say is that if it aligns, then the chances that it will draw support from the government will be higher.
The good news is the government is one of the trilateral partners. Okay. So there's already strong support from the ministry, etc. So on that angle, yes, government is contributing to the plan and already committed to it. But it is not a government policy. It's by the ecosystem for the ecosystem. So it's not going to be funded by government. All of us will work together on it. So we don't want to over-align because then it becomes, it's not the ecosystem's owned thing per se. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Gamali.
Yeah, sorry to still go back on this vision. So Julius was playing around with ChatGPT. It's got ChatGPT to refine the vision. And after that, he told ChatGPT to shorten it. And here, no, I think it's interesting. That's why I took the mic. So it says a thriving, inclusive digital society, driving economic growth and enhancing quality of life for all Ghanaians. So what do you think?
Can you say it again and then we'll vote whether ChatGPT did well than human GPT?
Maybe we change one word so that it's not like we are using ChatGPT. Say a thriving, inclusive digital society, driving economic growth and enhancing quality of life for all Ghanaians.
So, who likes ChatGPT better than human GPT? Let's take a vote. How many people like ChatGPT? Or you didn't get, it was too fast, eh? It's short. Let's hear the comments.
Good afternoon, please. Thank you. I think the ChatGPT or whatever, it's good. It's short and straight to the point. But I didn't hear anything about social economy because that social economy aspect is very important. If you have all the money, that social, it talks about human relations, social skills, and those things. They are very, 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 very relevant.
Okay, so socioeconomic should never and ever come out of our vision. I see one hand in front. I think that will be the last hand. For those who joined, I think we had a few people join. We went over the goals of the Collaborative Action Plan, its structure, and one of the pieces it has is a vision of a perfect world. Various people have contributed to visioneering over today. And so here in the room, we were talking about the perfect world. And someone got ChatGPT, as you saw, to edit and shorten the vision. Do you have a mic?
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead.
I like the idea of ChatGPT also because we are talking about digital innovation, right? And so if we have that saying that, oh, you know what, our vision was actually even repurposed or redrafted with ChatGPT, that would be awesome. But one thing I picked from there that I really think is exciting is the aspect that it used digital society instead of a digital economy here. Because if you take those two and compare, if you're looking at the economy, you're just fixated on a very small component. But the society itself is something much broader. And I would love to see a digital society instead of an economy.
Great. So let's broaden it from the economy to the whole society. Thank you. So at this point, we'll move on from the vision. And thank you for all the submissions, the votes, the simplifications, the social campaign. They're all very helpful. So we'll move on to the next slide. The objectives of the plan are currently the objectives of GDIW, but it's our event, so objectives can always be updated. So the question becomes, this is what it looks like in a perfect world, but what do we want to create through this event and through this movement? So now it's a week But there's the road to GDIW in the regions. There are these follow-up dialogues where we are following up on progress. It's becoming all event-based, but it's a movement that's beyond just the week. So here are the 4 objectives, and we read them out at the beginning, that was crafted when this event was first envisaged by many partners. The question is, does this capture what we want to accomplish? So this is the practicality of what we will accomplish together. I think we'll do a finger shoot also for this to get us thinking. So begin to think about whether you are one being, who came up with this? The world has changed. We need to change too. 5 being, this is perfect. This is exactly what we should be accomplishing together. You can pick any number between 1 and 5. Okay, so we'll do it the same way we did the other one. All eyes closed, so nobody is inspired by other people's votes to vote in a similar or divergent manner. So, okay, I think people are still reading the objectives. The first time I said close your eyes, everybody closed their eyes around immediately. This time I see people still reading, so we'll give it a few more minutes. Okay, ready to vote? Eyes closed. Think about your number. If you haven't thought, do any money minimal, pick a number. So you pick the number, close your eyes. I'll count 1, 2, 3. You put up your hand, and then you choose a finger from 1 to 5. So eyes closed, 1, 2, 3. Hands in the air, pick a number. Once you've picked a number, you can open your eyes. Okay, I see some 5s, 4s. Is that a 4.5? 4s, there's a 2, 4, 4, 4. Let's see this side. Somebody's given a 10. Wow, you people like to be innovative. 4, no votes. 5, 5, 5. Okay, 5, 5s. And 4s, and undecided. 1, undecided. So we have 1. His hand was moving up and down, so I figured he was undecided. Did you change from 1 to 2, or you're still 2? You have to open your eyes. It's okay. 2. So now let's talk about the number you picked and why. So Ibrahim, you knew I'll call on you, isn't it?
Yes, so I chose to, of course, the objectives are really concise. I chose 2 because I felt there's one key thing that was missing, which is the digital resources itself, right? So I didn't see any of the objectives covering either support or provision for digital resources, because if we are going to go digital, the resources are really important, and it's the baseline for us going digital. So, well, I would rather see an objective that moves to drive financing and allocating resources or investment to digital infrastructure development, something like that.
Thank you. I see a hand up. Anybody else wants to reflect on your number? Should have just stretched across. I didn't realize how long stretching.
Yeah, I think that my colleague's point about the financing part is absolutely spot on. And the other thing that I would want to see is this idea of exploration and debate. It looks like you want all of us to just come together, mobilize, and then we create this digital future. But there are contestations around what a digital society should be, what our rights should be, what kind of opportunities are there and who should be the participants, and that should also like feature really strongly in a forum like this. Thank you.
Thank you. So we should stir up controversy and have difficult conversations, not all come and sit and agree. But there's been no controversy in this room. Exploration, so we should do research. So data-based controversy, I like that.
Thank you, Amma. I stepped out a bit, so I had wanted to stay out of this one, but Gamali sort of stirred up a few other issues. You know, on point two, you see, we say we want to mobilize a diverse digital innovation ecosystem. But I think where we are, stakeholders, where we are in Ghana, localization is key. So the collaborative plan with its objectives should include localization, because all of these issues that we are discussing, if we don't localize to the very, district level, community level, for people to really understand. Earlier when I was making a point about even for hubs to target and work with the local government with the district, for instance, to demonstrate how digital technologies can enhance the activities of the district assemblies and bring about development and impact. Then we can use as a case study, a showcase for us, in fora like this, where we can demonstrate, see how digital technologies can transform a district. So in the same way, that this collaborative plan and its objectives should include localization. So if we can tweak point 2 to include localization so that we are direct and focused on it, I think we can go places, yeah.
Thank you. Local, it is true. Ghana is very different, even though we're one people, and so we need to localize. Any other thoughts anybody else wants to share? Even if you have a high number and you think this is close to perfect, it would be great to hear why. So, yes.
Okay, so if you hear that somebody was giving the 10, I was the one giving the 10. So, once again, I'm Idonia. Actually, it's because of the D, stimulate a mindset shift among Ghanaians. All right, so I personally do say you are the reflection of your own mind. Whatever you do, whatever action you take, is as a result of what your mind tells you. So sometimes the surrounding of people is as a result of their mindset. So actually, if this building is beautiful, that is what the architect perceived. So as our mindset drives us to do everything we are doing, our minds are the architects of this world. So if we are able to target a very strong mindset shift, especially in Ghana, I, Idonia Nalibe, can say that most of our problems will be solved. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ten, for sharing that. Once we actually change minds about innovation, a lot will transform in our society. And we're at the end of this session. There are other parts to the plan, but because we had an hour, we won't be able to go into them. But I just want to run you through, and then we'll take some reflective remarks from my co-facilitator, Gordon. So next slide. So the first sections, we're going to create it this way, and there'll be other forums, mostly virtual, where people can input into it because it's a living document. But the commitments are made through an online form. For those of you who are at the opening, it's gdiw.com.gh/collaborative-plan. Next slide. And it captures the... if you can go back, it captures the opportunities, the challenges, the solutions, but the commitments is the most important part. So what we'd like you to do after this session is to make sure that your organization and your action, your activity shows up in the collaborative plan. So go to the website, put in your commitment, put in any reflections about what you see from your unique point of view. In this conversation, there have been so many points of views that have enhanced the vision, that have enhanced the objectives, and we want to make sure that we don't miss anybody. You also represent many people who come from your perspective, and by inputting, you bring them along. So do go online to gdiw.com.gh. If you go there, you'll see a page for the collaborative plan, and you can fill in there. So over to Gordon for any concluding remarks.
Wow, pressure. Well, thank you for being here. You already know that this is the third GDIW, and this is the first time we're having this conversation about a collaborative plan. So clearly, the poles are shifting, and it is also very clear that GDIW 4 may be a little different, right? And what that means is that your contribution to this conversation is what changes GDIW going forward. So don't take this lightly, because I think there's a general sense that that digital transformation that we've been talking about, we need to change the way we do things to be able to achieve it. Otherwise, we'll have a weekly celebration every year, and it won't really you won't see it on the ground, right? So please don't take this as some exercise. If you have strong opinions and you want to really contribute to this change, please stay engaged. As I'm saying, there are going to be a few more activities after the week, which is also the first time that would happen. So please keep engaged, keep yourself in the conversation, and something amazing will happen in 2024.